So great to see so many friends joining us today for this great event. Good afternoon. My name is Molly Grover with the Dubuque Area Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of our board chair, Mr. Mike Wortman, who is fabulous and sitting right there, best board chair ever with TH Media, the board of directors, and my chamber staff and colleagues, welcome to today's annual State of the City event, which is presented by, of course, our host, Hotel Julian Dubuque, Medical Associates Clinic and Health Plans, Diamond Joe Casino, TH Media, Midwest One, Q Casino, and Dubuque Bank and Trust. Let's give them a round of applause. We also have platinum sponsors who really support our public policy events throughout the year. I'd like to take a moment to recognize them as well. Anderson Corporation, Digital Dubuque, Envision, Fidelity, HonCam PC, John Deere Dubuque Works, Mercy One, Queen Bee, Unity Point Finley Hospital, and U.S. Bank. One more round of applause. Before we get into the main event, of course, there's some special people here with us today that I'd like to recognize. We have from our federal officers, staffers, representing Senator Grassley, Rochelle Fuller. Rochelle, wait, there she is. Brittany Carroll, who's the district director for Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. The newest member of the Congresswoman Hinson team, Georgie Hilby, who is a district representative for Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. Welcome, Georgie. We also have some local officials. My favorite supervisor, County Supervisor, Mr. Harley Potoff. My favorite County Treasurer, Mike Clausen. We have school board member Lisa Whitman with us today. Hey, Lisa. She's also a chamber board member. Of course, our own mayor, our special guest speaker, Mayor Brad Kavanaugh, the best mayor in all the land. I'd also like to welcome several chamber board members that are with us today. Of course, our very own chair, Mr. Mike Fortman with TH Media, Brian Rakestraw with Q Casino and DRA, Katie Thomas with HonCamp PC, Mayor Brad Kavanaugh's ex officio, Harley Potoff is ex officio for the county, Lynn Breidopt with McGraw-Hill, Todd Dalsing with Dubuque Airport, Leo Hickey with Fidelity, Becky Conlin with Conlin Construction. Let's give them a round of applause. So the State of the City event, thanks to our mayor, Brad Kavanaugh, the State of the City event was revived last year thanks to his support. We have doubled in attendance. So to put it in perspective, last year we had 105. Today we have reservations for 205 people today. And I think your presence here today really demonstrates the business community's really keen interest in our current and economic growth and success. That's why we're here today. Dubuque is indeed blessed with beauty. We are the masterpiece on the Mississippi for good reason. We're blessed with a robust business climate, as indicated here today, blessed with caring citizens, blessed with public and private partnerships, our secret sauce to the greater good of our community, and blessed with what brings us here today, thoughtful elected officials who lead our community with integrity and purpose, leaders like Mayor Brad Kavanaugh. Today, you're going to hear the State of the City from Mayor Brad Kavanaugh. And Brad, if you don't know him, is a social worker with over 20 years of experience working in a variety of practice settings with diverse populations. He has spent the last decade at Loras College in Dubuque as an associate professor, of social work and has been involved on various boards and commissions for years before making the leap to city council. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize he's president-elect for Iowa, for the Iowa League of Cities, and he is also on the U.S. Conference of Mayors. If there is any organization and community that's about the greater good of Dubuque, he is serving in some capacity, so kudos to you. He holds a bachelor's degree in social work from the University of Iowa and a master's degree in social work from St. Louis University. Brad and his wife, Jennifer, have 2 sons. Brad is indeed a dynamic leader with a vision for Dubuque, and he is leading us on a local, state and national stage. There's no greater champion for Dubuque than Brad Kavanaugh. We're lucky to have him as our mayor. So at this time, we are going to waste no time. Welcome to the stage, our mayor, Mr. Brad Kavanaugh.
Well, welcome, everybody. How was lunch? You look like you're ready for a nap. Thank you so much for coming. And Molly, thank you so much for those very kind words. I'm very humbled when I hear somebody speak that way about me, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you very much. And I really do appreciate all of you being here today. I'm really looking forward to sharing some thoughts with you about the year that we have celebrated together, and then the year ahead. So before I begin those remarks, I do want to take a moment to again this year offer many thanks to some very important people. So first, thank you to the entire City of Dubuque staff, many of whom are joining us here today, so thank you for being here. And thank you for your efforts every single day. I continue to admire your dedication to public service and your commitment to our city. Thank you also to the many Dubuque residents who go above and beyond by serving on City Dubuque boards and commissions, which we have many of those folks here today too, so thank you. I want to make sure to thank some key City of Dubuque staff members who have helped prepare these remarks and with whom I work particularly closely as mayor. Thank you to Public Information Officer Randy Gale, City Manager Mike Van Milligan, Assistant City Manager Corey Burbach, City Clerk Adrian Breitfelder, and Assistant City Clerk Trish Gleason, City Attorney Krenna Brumwell, Technical Grant Analyst Justin Tilchin, and Director of Strategic Partnerships Terry Goodman. I also want to say thank you to my City Council colleagues, Rick Jones, David Resnick, Susan Farber, Laura Roussel, Danny Sprank, and Katie Weffel. I know I saw Laura here. I don't know if anybody else was able to join us. Yet Laura's right there. Thank you, Laura, for being here. As I've said that many times, I feel extremely fortunate to serve with such a dedicated, insightful, and professional group of public servants. So please join me in thanking our City Council for their service. I'm also thankful for the strong partnerships we share with our elected officials in Dubuque County government, our local state legislators, and our elected officials serving us in our nation's capital. And thank you so much for those of you who are able to join us here today. These partnerships are so essential to everything we do here in Dubuque, and I'm grateful to each of these individuals for their service. And of course, I want to thank my wife, Jennifer, and my sons, Sam and Andrew, and my extended family and those that I'm lucky enough to call friends. Thank you for your unending support in this journey of service. Finally, thank you to you and everyone joining us here today and all the residents of Dubuque. You truly do make this a wonderful place to call home, and it really, truly is an honor to be your mayor. Well, I'm very excited to be here with you today to celebrate another successful year in the great city of Dubuque and explore the year ahead. As I've prepared for this address, a theme has repeatedly come to mind. Now, at first, this idea that I'm going to share with you seems very unrelated, but I need you to stick with me just for a moment while I set the stage for our time together today. My educational journey in the Dubuque Community School District and beyond never did lead me into a physics classroom. And though my professional background does not include the study of physics, it does include the study of and service to individuals and the communities in which they live. There are some basic laws of physics that I've always found to be uniquely applicable to the nature of community and what people can or cannot accomplish together. In the late 15th century, Sir Isaac Newton introduced the world to the laws of motion, and in doing so, revolutionized humans' understanding of their world. Newton's first law of motion, now stick with me. I asked, stick with me, right? And I did look this up just to make sure that it's accurate. So there's a NASA website out there that I found it on, so just stick with me for a second. The first law of motion states that an object at rest remains at rest. Inertia is the term for this. Conversely, an object in motion remains in motion. Second law, the acceleration of an object depends on its mass and the amount of force applied. So, force. Finally, whenever an object exerts a force on another object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. Sounds very physics, doesn't it? In other words, an object will remain in motion until it is forced to change or stop. Action, reaction. As we step back and consider our history here in Dubuque, where we are now, and what we want to become, I'm struck by the way that these laws help to describe the nature of progress in a community. As Iowa's oldest city, the identity of Dubuque has formed over centuries and generations. In our recent history, we've seen some changes, to be sure, and change is always difficult. The familiar is comfortable. We have come to know our experiences and our surroundings over many, many years. A city at rest has a natural tendency to remain at rest. As the laws of motion relate to communities, however, there is a universal truth. It is impossible to stand still. The forces bearing down on us are simply too great and powerful. They come in so many forms. The rapid acceleration of technological advances, demographic realities of all types, economic and political winds shifting in national and international scales, changing local weather patterns, and so much more. As we stand and face these forces, we are left with two choices. Our first choice is to stay at rest, stand in place, and attempt to remain right where we are. In doing so, the harsh reality is that we would be choosing to allow the forces pushing against us to lead us on an inevitable march backward. In time, we would turn back the decades-long economic progress we've made, our population would decline, and we would return to those dark days that we all know too well, asking the last one in Dubuque to turn out the lights. Or we can lean forward. Look directly in the eyes of the forces working against our community's progress and forge a path towards success. So what have we chosen in this past year as a Dubuque community? Well, we have chosen to lean forward. The list of our accomplishments in this past year is long. Sometimes, though, it can be hard to see the forest for the trees, as the saying goes. So let's take a moment to step back, survey the big picture, and list the many ways we have progressed forward this year. Get ready. This list is a bit long. Let's first take a look at the City of Dubuque's financial track record. The City of Dubuque has continued to distinguish itself as a fiscally responsible city. This year, Moody's Investors Service upgraded the City of Dubuque's issuer rating to an outstanding general obligation unlimited tax bonds from AA3 to AA2, the third highest rating possible. The improved rating will assist the city in securing the best terms for financial products like loans, which can provide substantial savings for the city and taxpayers. Moody's reported they made this upgrade because the city has, I quote here, the city has strong financial operations and ample revenue-raising flexibility, which has resulted in steadily improved available fund balance and cash. The city serves as a regional economic center, and its regional economic growth has outpaced the nation over the past 5 years. The city's local economy is likely to remain strong because of its mix of commercial and industrial industries, stable population, and steady tax-based growth, end quote. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada awarded the City of Dubuque a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the city's comprehensive annual financial report. This is the 34th consecutive year the City of Dubuque has received this recognition. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. And once again, the City of Dubuque has found a way to fund our budget with the lowest property tax rate of the the lowest property tax rate and the 5th lowest debt burden of any major city in the state of Iowa. Multiple city council goals and priorities last year centered on retaining and attracting an excellent City of Dubuque workforce, and we've made progress. So let's take a look at some of that progress. After a disappointing year where we were only able to open one pool for the summer, the Leisure Services Department went above and beyond to hire an incredible summer workforce this past year. And the community enjoyed a full slate of summer activities with both pools open and packed in the summer heat. The city also began a pay-in-class study with the goal of bringing the salaries of our dedicated public servants in line with similar pay scales in our state and region. The Dubuque Fire Department received an American Heart Association's 2022 Mission Lifeline EMS Gold Plus Award for implementing quality improvement measures for the treatment of patients who experience severe heart attacks. Finally, the City of Dubuque was recently recognized by Gallagher's as a best-in-class employer for providing innovative solutions to create organizational structures, workplace policies, and total rewards which inclusively engage and motivate its employees. The City of Dubuque scored in the top 12.5% of more than 4,000 large and mid-sized employers. Dubuque also continues to distinguish itself as a model for sustainability. Dubuque was one of 24 cities selected on the whole continent to participate in the Cities Forward program. This is a collaborative initiative between the U.S. Department of State and various non-governmental partners to help cities in North America create sustainable, inclusive, and resilient futures through project consultation, co-design, and knowledge sharing. The United States Forest Service awarded the City of Dubuque an urban and community forestry grant totaling just under $1.5 million, which will provide funding for the planting of 6,600 new trees in the community over the next 5 years. And the Initiative for Sustainable Communities at the University of Iowa, Go Hawks, selected the City of Dubuque as one of 2 community partners in the state for this academic year. More than 100 U of I faculty and students will collaborate with Dubuque officials to complete 15 community projects, ranging from alternative transportation plans to new public art sculptures. We've also made strides toward further improving the quality of life and the addition of amenities for city residents. We are pushing forward with our community-driven Central Avenue revitalization plan. With the help of public-private partnerships, housing is being created and improved along Central, businesses are moving in, streetscape beautification is happening as we speak, and we are making critical infrastructure improvements in the corridor. After many years of planning and community discussion, we have identified a viable path forward for our Five Flags Civic Center. The $25 million improvement project that lies ahead will modernize Five Flags and keep this essential city amenity performing strongly in the decades ahead. We're taking leaps forward with Dubuque's gateway to the city, Schmidt Island. Through a reinvigorated, imaginative, and successful partnership with the DRA and Q Casino, we are embracing an ambitious transformation to turn the island into one of the premier entertainment and recreational destinations in the Midwest. And of course, we can't forget our brand new and very brightly colored renovations at Comiskey Park. It brings a smile to my face every time I pass by and see our city's families enjoying this beautiful place. For all these efforts and more, we were recognized by several national organizations. Through America in Bloom's Growing Vibrant Communities program, we received top honors, including the Over 35,000 Population Category Award and an All-America Selections Showcase Garden Award. Dubuque received a $25,000 Eco Connections from the Ground Up grant for the Reimagine Comiskey Park redevelopment project to be used for trees, native forbs, grass seed, shrubs, and flowers. Dubuque is one of 10 communities in the United States selected for the Economic Mobility and Opportunity Cohort. The City of Dubuque and the Greater Dubuque Development Corporation will participate in a series of learning and training opportunities on boosting upward economic mobility, gaining best practices, tools, and technical assistance to implement the city's equitable poverty prevention and reduction plan. And finally, the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, awarded Dubuque a score of 95 out of 100 on their most recent Municipal Equality Index. Since 2012, the HRC has issued this annual index. This ranks cities' non-discrimination laws, the municipality as an employer, municipal services, law enforcement, and the city leadership's public position on equality. Out of 506 cities, Dubuque's score of 95 is significantly higher than the national average of 69 points. One more area where we have had tremendous success is in development and housing. In August of last year, my city council colleagues and I called for new and improved incentives to encourage housing development. A study from the Greater Dubuque Development Corporation had shown our city needed at least 1,100 housing units to meet the housing demand for our residents. Within 1 month, our excellent city staff brought forth a proposal for new development incentives that the City Council approved and put in motion. I'm very excited and very proud to report that in just 1 year, the City of Dubuque has gone from needing 1,100 units to having over 2,200 units approved and on the path toward construction. These units include housing in all areas of our city and across all parts of the socioeconomic spectrum. Our housing efforts have shown incredible success, and I want to thank our City Council, city staff, local developers, and all our partners for working together to make this a reality. This success goes hand in hand with the great success we've seen in both residential and commercial development in the Dubuque region in the past year. Since July of 2022, the City of Dubuque and Dubuque County have seen over $338 million in residential and commercial development. All of these efforts led to Dubuque being named to the inaugural of Iowa Thriving Communities, a new program from the Iowa Finance Authority and Iowa Economic Development Authority that recognizes cities around the state that utilize innovative solutions to enhance their housing offerings to residents of all income levels. This designation will further incentivize development through the use of the federal housing tax credit and workforce housing tax credit programs. The evidence is clear. Property development is alive and well in the city of Dubuque. None of these successes we have had as a city would be possible without strong and healthy partnerships with our federal and state governmental partners. At a time when political fights have become the unfortunate norm, the city of Dubuque stands apart as an example of what is possible when we focus on forming relationships across political boundaries for the good of our community. With the help of our partners in the Biden administration, our Iowa congressional delegation, including Congresswoman Ashley Hinson, Senator Chuck Grassley, and Senator Joni Ernst, our state of Iowa partners, and of course, our partners right here in Dubuque County, the city of Dubuque has secured tens of millions of dollars in grants to ensure our continued progress on major projects throughout the city. This list is also long, but it's well worth a reminder of just how much we have accomplished together in this past year. We have received over $5 million to help us design and implement critical transportation projects throughout the city. This includes a Department of Transportation RAISE grant for the 14th Street overpass and a complete streets project on Elm Street corridor. This particular project earned Dubuque a personal visit from Secretary Pete Buttigieg earlier this year. A Department of Transportation Safe Streets for All partnership with East Central Iowa Intergovernmental Association, otherwise known as ECIA. Another U.S. Department of Transportation low and no emissions bus program grant to move toward bus electrification, and a U.S. DOT Areas of Persistent Poverty grant for bus route optimization. We've received over $8.5 million toward major infrastructure projects, including community project funding for the Granger Creek Lift Station. And just last week, it was announced that we received an Economic Development Administration grant to complete one of the most critical final pieces of the B Branch Gates and Pumps project. As we work to further enhance the quality of life for Dubuque residents, the city of Dubuque, in collaboration with key community partners, has received over $20 million in grants toward a broad spectrum of significant community projects. These grants include a $500,000 National Endowment for the Arts grant to provide funds for local arts agencies. An award of this amount is almost unheard of in a community our size. This is an incredible achievement. A Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services hiring grant to expand services for modern policing, community project funding for the Chaplain-Schmidt Island Trail Connector, a National Endowment for the Arts Our Town grant to support events, projects, and community building on Central Avenue with our partners at Voices, a United States Department of Agriculture, Urban and Community Forestry grant for tree planting in our most disadvantaged census tracts, child care business incentive grants for both Dubuque Initiatives and Cottingham and Butler to expand much-needed child care services in our community, a nonprofit innovation grant in partnership with Hills and Dales to construct a new Center for Autism Services, a Destination Iowa grant for future Chaplain-Schmidt Island Amphitheater, and an additional Destination Iowa grant toward a brand new and reimagined Dubuque Museum of Art. Finally, with the help of our federal and state partners, we have received major grants to help with one of our community's most critical needs in the months and years ahead, the return of daily commercial air service to the Dubuque Regional Airport. These include an Iowa Department of Transportation and Federal Aviation Administration grant for a solar panel array and terminal and airfield improvements, an Iowa Airport Improvement Program grant toward apron reconstruction, and just last week, we received the very welcome news that we have been awarded a Small Community Air Service Development Program grant. I cannot overstate the importance of this particular grant in helping us work directly with major and regional air carriers in returning full air service to the Dubuque region. Clearly, we are not a community at rest. We are not standing still. We are pushing forward with full force. There are, of course, many challenges ahead. These challenges are economic as we navigate new and ever-changing landscapes of highs and lows and economic changes that we just can't see. Challenges surround us in maintaining and improving infrastructure, some of which is the oldest in the state of Iowa. As a city government organization, we're challenged to identify the best ways to attract and retain a fully staffed and effective city workforce. We must find ways to endure challenges wrought by our natural environment, as rapidly changing climate forces us to adapt to new and often unpredictable weather patterns. Challenges in the social landscape on the local, national, and world stage contribute to unsettling and new circumstances in our interactions with one another. And the political environment in our country continues to tear at the very fabric of our democracy. On this note, I must pause and take a moment to specifically address the hyper-political rhetoric and behavior that is causing great division among us, particularly at the federal and state levels. It seems once again we have avoided a shutdown within our federal government. As I've already mentioned, our partnerships with our federal elected and appointed officials are essential to our well-being as a city. So for this reason, as mayor of the city of Dubuque, I implore our federal officials to please do all you can to fight against the urge to wage political battles with one another. Remember your core commitments to public service and rededicate yourselves to serving the best interests of Dubuque and every city, town, and household in the United States. To our Honorable Governor Reynolds and our state legislators and our esteemed state officials, I fear our state is heading down a dangerous path of big government that is forgetting the essential right of local freedom. We, as residents of the cities and towns of Iowa, must have the freedom to choose what is best for ourselves and our communities. As our state motto reminds us, our liberties we prize, our rights we will maintain. I urge our state of Iowa partners to turn away from unfunded mandates and preemptive local laws dictated from Des Moines and recommit yourselves to the local freedom that is enshrined in our state constitution. Let us continue to trust one another and do what is best for the people of Iowa, wherever Iowans choose to live. To address these challenges, one of the greatest opportunities we have is the strength of our community itself. In this past year, I have seen more community engagement than I have seen in all of my years as a Dubuquer. Engaged residents from across our community have spoken up and spoken out to collaboratively work together toward real and lasting progress in the city of Dubuque. Long-standing community leaders have continued their exemplary leadership that has guided us through decades of progress. New leaders have emerged to lead us in new and innovative directions and teach us to think outside the box. We've heard from advocates for housing, sustainability, and resiliency, conservationists, developers, business owners, re-engaged neighborhood associations, and neighborhood advocates. We've partnered with other cities in our region to multiply our strength and take on even more ambitious projects. This energy, excitement, and heartfelt engagement in making Dubuque the best place it can be is our #1 most important asset. All of us who are truly and honestly committed to making Dubuque the best it can be are sharing new ideas, boldly entering into difficult conversations, and forging a path ahead with unmistakable force. None of this is easy. It requires genuine listening. It requires critical thought. It requires discomfort that comes with stepping outside our own ideas and environments to sincerely try to understand the perspectives of others. It requires compromise. It requires respect. And it requires trust. Through these efforts, we are molding the Imagine Dubuque vision that we created together into a reality for ourselves and the generations to come. And now is the perfect time for strong community engagement like this. Based on our progress over the last few years, I firmly believe we are embarking on some of the most exciting years we have ever experienced in Dubuque. As the new Field of Dreams Stadium and youth baseball complex comes online in the next 2 years, the eyes of the world will once again turn directly to our region. The riverboats that have returned to our shore will arrive even more frequently. Tourism will flourish, businesses will multiply, abundant housing will establish Dubuque as a model for others to follow, and we will return full daily air service to the Dubuque Regional Airport. All of this will bring even more plentiful recreational activities and other amenities that will make Dubuque an ever more vibrant and thriving place to call home. Our path ahead is clear. We are a city on the move. We are a region on the move, and we refuse to stand in place. We refuse to submit to the forces that relentlessly try to push us backward. So let us commit here and now to work together toward innovation, growth, and progress, to achieve true greatness as a community and realize our dream of building a sustainable and resilient city and an inclusive and equitable masterpiece on the Mississippi where all are welcome. This is our commitment to each other today, tomorrow, and every day that we have the great fortune to call Dubuque our city and our home. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for your continued dedication to Dubuque. And thank you for all you will do in the year ahead for our great city.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Dubuque does it. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. Thank you to our mayor. Thank you to our city council. I shared that we are blessed in my opening comments, and we truly are blessed. Look out any window, look next to you. There are so many people in this community that make Dubuque the best place to live, work, play, and do business. And we all care, and we all want the same thing. So hats off not only to the leadership and our wonderful mayor, but hats off to all of you as well. Thank you for your support in being here. Thank you to the staff at Hotel Julian Dubuque, who always knocks it out of the park. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and we will see you next year at the annual State of the City event as well. If you're interested in more public policy events, October 31st, there is a legislative conference that we're calling a special session, Operation Population. So we hope to see you there. Thank you.